Hey guys, if you haven't seen it yet, I just released a brand new shirt for elk season. This logo is sick. Pre-orders are being taken on my website, BowhuntingAZ.com. Just look for the store tab. BowhuntingAZ Elk Series is the #1 way to show off your passion for us hunters who live and breathe chasing these Arizona elk. On the front of this t-shirt is the traditional BowhuntingAZ font, but now showcases a hunter carrying his harvest into the pines. Go grab yours today. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the BowhuntingAZ podcast. In this episode, I sit down with Chet Gray from Christian Hunters of America. Chet is the active member behind the social media marketing of CHA. Chet talks about his upcoming elk hunt in Wyoming, caribou hunt in Alaska, and the mentorship programs that help drive Christian Hunters of America. Before we jump on into this episode, I want to take a quick moment to thank those who helped make this all possible. Backwoods Grind. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a huge coffee nut. I like my coffee strong and a solid flavor to back it up. The guys over at Backwoods Grind have it going on. I get my coffee shipped every 2 weeks to me automatically, and you can choose whole bean or different variations of ground. You can opt for a one-time purchase, bi-weekly, or monthly basis. Backwoods Grind is a coffee that goes beyond the mug. From traditions to memories and long-lasting relationships, these are all built upon the passion brought to you by their blends, specifically roasted for hunters and outdoorsmen alike. Be sure to check out their 3 newly released blends, Camp House, Fireside, and Nightcap. Visit backwoodsgrind.com and use code BAZ10 to get 10% off your order. I'd also like to thank Rax. Rax is hands down the coolest bow hangers on the market. Display your bow with pride in your house, your garage, or anywhere you'd like. They carry most major bow brands while also offering a custom service if you have an idea or logo of your own that you'd like to make into a bow hanger. Use them to display your traditional bow, compound bow, or crossbow. They also work great for hanging your hunting gear, bags, or hats. Not to mention, the designs look just plain awesome all by themselves. A Rax hanger makes for a great gift for that special hunter in your life. Go to raxinc.com, that's RAXXINC.com, to see some of the available designs or contact Rax to discuss a custom hanger of your own. If you'd like to see how sick their custom hangers are, go check out my Instagram feed. For listeners of the BowhuntingAZ podcast, use the promo code PODCAST and get 15% off your order. Rax, show off your passion. Open Country Optics. Open Country Optics is your #1 online source for optics and optics rentals. With quality Swarovski glass before your eyes, Open Country Optics brings the game closer. Rentals include a tripod, binos, and you can even add on a phone scope or foldable chair to glass from. All of the optics arrive in a durable Pelican case with insulated foam. You won't find any other company who provides you an all-inclusive package like Open Country Optics. Visit them today at opencountryoptics.com. Use promo code BHAZ and get 5% off rentals or $50 off any optics purchase. Open Country Optics, bringing the game closer. Scent Assassin. Scent Assassin, the new leader in scent elimination. Scent Assassin manufactures the latest technology in scent elimination spray, body wash, and laundry detergent. Forget the wind, hunt anywhere, anytime. Check out their full product line at scentassassin.com. Use promo code BowhuntingAZ for 20% off your order. All right, hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the BowhuntingAZ podcast. We're here tonight at the annual turkey seminar for Christian Hunters of America. I'm here with Chet. Chet's going to hang out and talk for a little while. We're going to talk about CHA and him being a member, and then we're also going to talk about some upcoming hunts. Sounds like you're going to be hopping around to Wyoming, Alaska.
Yes.
Going to do a little turkey hunting here in Arizona.
Yes.
So why don't you just kind of break the ice for us about Christian Hunters of America, how you got involved with them. You've been here a couple years now?
Correct.
Okay. So how originally did you get drawn into Christian Hunters of America, and then what transformed everything as far as your hunting adventures for?
First time getting involved with Christian Hunters of America was at the Game and Fish Outdoor Expo. Took my wife and took my kids there, and amongst all the other events we saw a 3D archery where kids are welcomed. They have small little compound bows that they encourage the kids and the family to come. The people that were facilitating that were Christian Hunters of America, or at that time they were called Desert Christian Archers, DCA, prior to CHA. And shortly after that is when they've morphed into the current Christian Hunters of America. But that was probably 3 years ago. Started researching, seeing what they were exactly about, saw that Calvary Church here in Phoenix, off I-17, is their predominant church that they do most of their outreach, most of our seminars, some of our Bible studies and whatnot. And during the course of the last 2 years have become a member, become more involved in some of the seminars. CHA is all about families, whatever denomination you are. Obviously it's Christian faith-based, and the fellowship and bringing more people in through the outdoors and camping and hunting and fishing is the outreach program, but anyone's faith is welcomed here. Even any denomination, we want people to come and experience what CHA has to offer, hear what CHA represents, and kind of talk about Christian-based values, as well as encouraging youth and encouraging people that have never hunted before, because we've had people that are in their 60s or 70s that have never had a big game before and have been successful after coming to some of our seminars when they have mentored hunts.
Yeah, and that's cool too. You guys do some of those mentored hunts. Most recently was the youth of the Javelina.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about that and some of those events that you guys kind of host.
We usually have, like the meeting tonight, we'll have a turkey seminar prior to turkey season. So we'll have a Javelina seminar at the same church up here in Calvary prior to the Javelina hunt starting. So in doing so, someone will have youth hunts that may happen beforehand, but the overall general season normally starts back in February. We'll have that Javelina seminar either that week or prior to that, because our monthly meetings are the third Tuesday of every month. So in doing so, have that meeting on Tuesday. We have a couple pro staff members like we do tonight from Cabela's and other really experienced hunters talk about what to look for, what sign to look for, and whatnot. And during the camp, we partner with YMCA, and we utilize their Chauncey Ranch, which is outside of Mayer, Arizona. And kids are welcome, adults are welcome, anyone that has a tag in that general vicinity, which is normally 20A, 21 and 19A, all in that I-17 and Arizona 69, where those junctions combine, so everybody can kind of coordinate and get to either of those units in a relative quick time. Snowed quite a bit this year, so it presented, we had far less people than we were anticipating. I think over 150 had filled out the application that they have to in order for us to get a head count through Arizona Game and Fish, because we partner with them as well. And once we get that head count, we can kind of prioritize our meals, all the meals, everything's provided. There's a small fee to pay for the cabins that we use up there, but the meals, the food, the mentors coming out and taking kids or taking adults out is all provided. Time pertaining, if you have a tag, someone's going to be able to hopefully take you out and get some eyes on some pigs for you.
And that's cool, because you're kind of paired up with somebody who was probably more experienced. So if you are like a newer hunter and stuff, you can kind of come in and get that mentorship from somebody.
That's a big proponent of CHA. One of our pillars is trying to educate and recruit the youth, the next generation, so that hunting can continue, so that we have those stewards of outdoorship. and to continue to have people that want to be conservationists and keep all the animal species healthy.
Yeah.
Game and Fish comes out and does an hour or two lecture at the Chauncey Ranch at the YMCA camp and talks about the biology and the behavior and gives you a 2-hour lesson on the life sciences of javelinas and how they came here.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool that they're involved in that too. So what are you doing this year? You've got a turkey tag.
I have a turkey tab coming up.
Okay.
We're here today, obviously, for the turkey seminar. We have quite a few experienced hunters. I've gone archery hunting for turkeys before, and that is extremely hard. I haven't been successful, so finally put in for the normal shotgun and got that in 6A near on the rim.
Nice.
So it'll be nice to get out. It'll start warming up here, so it's going any reason to get away from Phoenix when it starts warming up is going to be nice.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll have some friends that'll want to tag along, and
there you go.
We'll get some toms to come in.
Yeah, I got a spot for you. I'll share a location with you. So.
All right.
What else are you doing? Sounds like you have some out-of-state hunts.
I have next year. I actually won through Sportsman's News their pro membership sweepstakes. Joined last year on a whim, saw that they give away numerous hunts and you can do annually or monthly. I chose do the yearly.
Yep.
And you pay a one-time fee, and it every 10 days there's a drawing, and there's a grand prize and then 4 smaller prizes, which could be a backpack or a light or a game processing kit, and the grand prize is usually a hunting or a fishing trip or a rifle. And unbeknownst to me, we were on a coos deer hunt in southern Arizona and happened to get cell service, and I got an email from someone with Sportsman's asking for me to fill out a W-9 tax form, and I thought that was awfully odd since I hadn't got a call. That's a whole lot of personal information and social security number.
Yeah.
And corresponded back, and then at the end of the hunt, finally, oh, no one notified you back in, this is November for the coos deer, and I guess back in September they publish immediately on YouTube the hunt information, and you can see the drawing live, but I didn't watch it, and lo and behold, myself and one other person got drawn for a fully guided elk.
When did you join that?
August, and I got drawn in September.
So you're like that guy that has 0 bonus points and puts in for like a unit 8 or unit 3A, 3B elk hunt. And
I haven't been that lucky. I haven't been that lucky in Arizona, but it worked out well in Wyoming.
Hey man, that's great though.
I've been there once before for antelope. I love Wyoming. This is a rifle during the rut is extremely hard to get. And to get it out of state is even more special.
Absolutely.
So I feel very blessed to have won that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so tell us a little bit then about the Alaska one that you're doing.
The Alaska hunt, I working as much overtime as possible to pay for that. Every little bit of extra cash has been going to pay for that. I have a neighbor that's from Anchorage and is an avid hunter, and we've been talking about it for the last couple of years. And last August, we kind of said, let's pull the trigger and let's start planning for it.
Yeah.
And most of Alaska, you don't need a draw. Certain species you do, but caribou you don't. And it's once in a lifetime kind of trip. So taking my dad along and do some fishing. And my neighbor that's from Alaska that lives in Anchorage, he said we can either fly up to the Northern Brooks Range and do caribou hunt up there, or we could still do that, but let's drive the haul road, which is, like where ice road truckers always drive the, infamous long haul road. And it follows the pipeline all the way up. And he said, you're gonna experience Alaska in its truest form if we rent a vehicle and drive over 2 days all the way up. And planning that and getting the logistics, you gotta have you gotta have a drop plane.
Yep.
They drop you on the Northern Brooks Range or the Southern Brooks Range, depending on when you go. Based on the caribou migration in that particular area, and that it's a DIY hunt. You're not guided or whatnot, but you have to get a pilot in order to charter you out and drop you off there.
Sure.
And the biggest logistics thing is the weight limit, where you're here in Arizona and you pull a trailer or you call somebody and they're like, hey, I need help, come come bring your side-by-side to help pack out an elk or whatnot. There, it's you and your buddy, and 70 pounds max is the most gear you can have. That's in what you're wearing and 70 pounds. So that's your pack, your gun, your rifle, if you carry anything else, your tent, your sleeping, your food, all that kind of stuff.
What about your meat on the way back?
On the way back, that's included. So when you pay for the drop through the charter, they will pay, or that's included in the price.
Okay.
So if you get it or if you don't, that's the gamble. That's why they call it hunting, right? Instead of killing.
Yeah. But I mean, is it one single trip that you get and you have to make that 70 pounds count?
Yes.
Oh, man.
So they drop you off and you have a satellite phone, and if you don't see anything, it's for 8 days approximately. If you wanted to come home early, if you want to stay till about 10, there's some leeway. It's the same price no matter what. So if you bring enough food or you have enough provisions and enough gear to sustain however long you're out there, that's fine.
Gotcha.
They're not going to bring you and resupply you unless you probably paid for that, because the fuel is obviously the most expensive part of that. So whether you get an animal or not, they will transport it back. So you'd stay wherever the landing strip is. You process that meat out there. They'll bring the cape and the antlers and the meat back.
Gotcha.
And then come back and get you.
So they're doing 2 trips then. If you harvest something, they're doing 2 trips. Gotcha. Okay. Right on.
I'm looking forward to that.
What's your limit? What's your pound limit? 70, you said?
It's rifle for that.
Oh, okay.
It's rifle for that. So with being a non-resident, Dall sheep, grizzly bear, and mountain goat, you have to have a guide. So I can't put in for any of those because my neighbor's just a friend. He's not related to me. So he recommended the chances of you seeing a wolf are kind of slim, but it's very nominal fee in the grand scheme of things. It's only like $60. So if you see one, you're going to be upset if you didn't have a tag. So he's like, you get a caribou and a wolf tag, and because he's a resident, he'll have a caribou and a bear tag. Okay, nice. And if we see either, then those we'll try to harvest both of those.
Absolutely, man, that would be awesome too. So how are you going about, being that these are both out of state, and one of the last episodes that I just did was kind of prepping for season. How do you handle prepping for these out-of-state tag? Like, obviously we can't, here our hunts, we can go out and scout on the weekends or whatever. How are you, is it just e-scouting? Are you relying on, one of them might be guided or something like that, but for these DIYs where you're not guided and you're just going out on your own, is it solid e-scouting? How does that work?
I don't know that you can e-scout Alaska. It seems very daunting if you don't have somebody. I mean, you could do a ton of research. To me, you would have to know someone that's either been a guide there, hunted there numerous times, or is a resident. I'm sure people are successful that go up there first time. I don't know that I'd feel comfortable doing that. It's very remote. If something happens to you, you got to have some sort of medical plan and whatnot. So the Alaskan one, I've relied a lot on my neighbor for the logistics wise, doing your own research. I look at a lot of outfitters, even though it's a DIY, see what they recommend, see what their gear lists are, and start formulating that. I got a scale and making sure that everything combined weighs in the 60s so that you have a little bit of wiggle room, because if something weighs differently on another scale, that's the biggest thing. Is obviously in hunting, everything that weighs less costs more, it seems like. So and being a big guy, it's hard to find a sleeping bag that is going to keep me warm and weigh the least amount. But I've been pretty fortunate between gear from Sportsman's Warehouse and Cabela's. I like their stuff. I like their clothing. I've used it in the snow, specifically Cabela's brands, their camo, their Octane camo. Their cold weather gear, their rain gear, been in downpours and haven't got wet. Some of the other name brand stuff just doesn't fit me. It's meant for smaller, skinnier guys, and that's not me. So making sure you have the right gear, because in August, when the caribou hunt is, it could be in the 80s and have a ton of mosquitoes, they say, or it could be down in the 30s and freezing, and it could change from day to day. It's just that varied, I guess, in Alaska. So having the right gear, having the right clothing, having the right sleeping bag, having the right all that, and then making sure that it's within the weight limit is the most important thing. And then if you're on tundra, everybody he's saying, it's like walking on sponges. So being in shape is obviously super important.
Sure.
Some of the hunts are over with that require the heavy lifting right now. So going out and, backpack with weights in it, or, using a pack that you can put the plate system on there. Doing that a lot.
Yeah.
Caribou don't weigh as much as an elk packing out, but it's probably going to take a couple trips if we're successful in harvesting a decent sized bull.
Yeah.
So the logistics thing and just weighing all that stuff and making sure you have 2 socks, 2 long underwear, 2 outerwear, 2 base layers, and the weight savings is kind of where most of the e-scouting, the maps, and not knowing exactly where you're going to get dropped off. It's a unit, but it's so enormous that it depends on where the migration is, on where that pilot is going to drop you off.
Okay.
So you can't for all intents and purposes, you can't see where in that mountain range where you're going to go. Is it going to be this drainage or this drainage? So you kind of plan for the worst and hope for the best kind of thing on weather and gear. Seeing videos, listening to other podcasts, listening to what other people have to say is kind of the best thing, that people that have experienced it first and whatnot. The lower 48, it seems like it's a lot easier to access that information, the e-scouting, the logistics wise, and it's not near as remote.
Sure.
So
yep.
It'll be interesting.
That'll be awesome though.
Yeah, we'll do a follow-up when those are done.
Oh, you bet. That'll be awesome, especially the fishing though too, man. I've always wanted to go fishing in Alaska. My dad's not a hunter, but he's a big fisherman.
Okay.
I mean, Great Lakes, all of his childhood and everything, that's how he spent time with his dad. So someday I'd like to get him out to Alaska. I actually have an uncle there who is retired Air Force, but he trained fighter pilots how to survive if they had to eject, and they trained in the Alaskan wilderness.
Oh.
So we've got family up there, so we'd like to go stay up there sometime.
What better place?
I know, right? So what are you going to do as far as like GPS, specifically to the Alaska or even to Wyoming too? Being out of state, safety-wise, GPS, bears, probably you have to be a concern. You can do bear spray, carrying a sidearm, or just relying on the rifle.
People have varying thoughts on it, I guess. The Wyoming hunt, or Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, where there's a grizzly bear population.
Yep.
Seems like a lot of people that are hiking or getting in preparation, doing the scouting, will carry a large caliber sidearm, be a revolver of some sort is what it seems to be most people carry in the 45 to 50 caliber. I don't know that I'll have that. Okay. I'll hopefully rely, the Wyoming is horseback in, and then they have wall tents up.
Okay.
With the weight savings, I don't foresee being able to bring a sidearm. It's going to be the rifle and the bullets, and having a large caliber. I won't be able to take a bear, but only if in a life or death situation.
Right,
so if it was charging, I'm not going to hesitate to shoot it. I can't hunt it and go hunting for all intents and purposes, but I have a 300 Ultra Mag that I'll be taking out there. Pretty accurate with that. So if a bear is charging, God willing, it doesn't get on us quick enough, and we're able to put that down. Most of the other predators, there are obviously mountain lions in Wyoming as well. Wolves, they're protected as far as I still remember. They're near that Yellowstone. It's on the eastern edge and all around Yellowstone, the southern edge. They're part of that protected, and a lot of red tape surrounding those wolves. Sure. So I don't think you can harvest them there. Sure. The last I've heard. I know that there's a lot of litigation going on that. And bears, I don't have a tag for it in Wyoming, but you'll, I guess, address it when it comes.
Yeah, probably more just a nuisance thing, really.
Right. Just be aware of your surroundings and being loud and making your presence known. And if you're on horseback, I think they're going to see you and smell you from a long ways away.
Right.
Hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you go about choosing what firearm you wanted to use for this, and then like your optics and stuff too? Did that play a role as to where you were hunting? Does it change from Wyoming to Alaska, or is it just going to do both the same?
I'll do both the same.
Okay.
I have a friend that is an avid long-range shooter, does a lot of his hand loads and does a lot of custom work for people.
Yeah.
And in doing so have learned a lot of different techniques for taking the long-range shots. You got to have the caliber. I know long-range shooting has become extremely popular, but shooting 1,000 yards or shooting 800 yards and having a kill shot is different than shooting paper.
Sure.
So having enough horsepower behind that round, having enough energy downrange in order to successfully harvest that animal. If you're going to take a long range shot, you owe it to that animal ethically and morally, in my eyes, to be as humane as possible.
Agreed.
And you could have a small caliber, and yeah, it can shoot paper at 1,000 or 800, but it doesn't have the energy to successfully put that animal down humanely. So a buddy of mine that does all those reloads, that used to do some competition shooting, he's a big guy and he shoots a 300 Ultra Mag and recommended that I get into that. He's familiar with that. He shoots a lot of, he's a big proponent of Remington 700s and building off of that platform, and uses, top of the line Night Force optics and whatnot. I played around with a couple different optics and was able to get Zeiss Conquest that I'm going to put on my Ultra Mag. We've done some validation shots and zeroed it in at about 200 yards. It depends on how close you are, and I mean, some could come within 50 yards and you're not needing to take a long range shot, and I'm not opposed to that. I'm not buying a large caliber just to take a long range shot, but I want to be able to, if that's the only opportunity that presents itself. And in doing so, you owe it to yourself to practice. I mean, people that don't go out or have someone zero it, if you don't have your proper eye relief, you don't have your proper length of pull, and you go out there and now it doesn't fit because someone built it, and you just go out there and shoot, then you're not comfortable with that weapon system. And you need to be able to practice with that weapon, because you owe it to yourself and you owe it to the animal. If you wound it and you don't get it back, you're hurting that animal, and then you've wasted your tag and your time and money. Absolutely. So all that plays into effect, and every hunter, not just me, is always probably constantly thinking about that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, and it's funny how all that can literally run through your mind that split second that you're there in front of the animal and you're like ready to take the shot.
Yes.
Like I don't know how to explain it, but that does all, at least through my mind anyways, it all runs through within a matter of seconds.
Yeah, all the brain waves are firing on
how
all
people
cylinders.
say life flashes before your eyes sometimes. It's almost like that. Your practice and all that stuff and everything, that all flashes right through your head into that.
You revert back to your training. All that muscle memory is going to come into effect. And if you don't, you're going to panic, and the breathing, and that's, people talk about the buck fever and whatnot, and if you're trying to take a running shot, if you're trying to take standing, or you're shooting off sticks versus being prone, if you have the time to obviously get the most stable platform and take a couple deep breaths or do a dry fire before shooting, that's all going to help you be successful.
Absolutely. Well, hey, thanks, man. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Steve.
And look forward to getting started with this seminar.
Yes.
Looking forward definitely to hearing about Alaska and Wyoming when you come back from both of those.
Definitely.
And sounds like we might be doing some video for turkey hunts this April. So
awesome.
I'm looking forward to that too. That'll be great.
Can't wait.
Right on, man.
Thanks,
hey,
Steven.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of the BowhuntingAZ podcast. Let's all wish good luck to Chet on his caribou hunt. I can't wait to follow up with him when he gets back. Everyone, I have a huge announcement to make. Over on my Instagram page, at BowhuntingAZ, I have a huge giveaway that's going on right now. The prizes are BowhuntingAZ hat, 8-inch decal and t-shirt, custom BowhuntingAZ mini bowhanger rack from Racks, 6-pack sampler of Backwoods Grind coffee and sticker, 5500 milliamp battery pack from Phone Scope, Pyro Putty fire starter from Pyro Putty, Mossy Oak camo silicone ring from Groove Ring, hat, t-shirt, decal, 1-year membership, and $50 Cabela's gift card from Christian Hunters of America. Dark Mountain Kodiak pre-workout and Nalgene bottle of your choice, and a full Rip It kit from Native by Carlton. Here's how you get entered into the contest. Go over to my account on Instagram at BowhuntingAZ and find the original contest post in my feed. Follow each of those brands that are involved in this giveaway. Comment on the original post by tagging 3 friends per comment. You can do as many comments as you'd like as long as there's 3 authentic accounts tagged per comment. Do not tag celebrities or other non-applicable accounts. Be fair, guys. I am checking on these. Good luck to everyone. The drawing will be done live through Instagram on May 18th. Thanks again, everyone, for listening to this episode of the BowhuntingAZ podcast. Make sure to subscribe, and please go smash those 5 stars for me on iTunes. Leave a little review for me underneath. It'll really help me out. God bless everyone, and I'll see you in the next episode.